Hello, and welcome again to I've Got an Answer for You with Spenny Pugliano, a show where we talk about life, love, and, whatever else comes up. I am here live at the house of my friend Alon Elion. Alon is not currently home because he is purposefully losing to elementary school children at chess at one of New York's many beautiful public parks in the hopes that the experience of beating a fully grown man will build their self esteem and allow them to more believe in themselves. The topic of what's going on over here? The topic of today's conversation is stories. And I don't just mean the stories that we find in books or the stories that we tell our boss when we're late for work. I'm talking about the stories that we tell ourselves every day. Stories about our own lives. What is going maybe a little bit higher. Now I gotta go like this though. Now, before we take our first caller, I just wanted to address something. I did get a lot of messages from people saying, Spenny, I thought you were like 90% homeless. How do you have all this equipment here and stuff like that? All this stuff actually belongs to Alon. He lets me use it when he is not home. The only thing that does belong to me is this telephone that Alon was kind enough to give me. He said it was Wi-Fi only. I'm not really sure what that means, but I have to say, it's not an incredible phone. I can take phone calls here at the apartment, but when I leave the house, it does not take phone calls anymore. So, you know, it's not incredible or anything. But listen, beggars can't be choosers because if I'm being honest, besides my shoes and this jacket, which belonged to my father, this is the only thing that I own personally. This shirt and the pants belong to Robert. We do switch off just so it's not like we're, wearing the same clothes every day. So thanks, Robert, for the shirt and the pants, and maybe I'll see you later at the library. I know I will. We see each other every day. And now for our caller of the day, we have Sam from Brooklyn. Hey, Sam, how can I help you?
Hi, Spenny. I guess I should start by telling you that in my hometown, there used to be this McDonald's that had been converted from a
Ooh, yum.
bank. Yeah, so it looked like really fancy and very stately. And we'd ask my mom, "Hey, mom, can we go to McDonald's?" And she would always get out of it by saying, "Oh, we can't, sweetheart. That's the businessman's McDonald's. It's only for businessmen." And of course, years later, my brothers and I found out that she had been lying to us. And I guess I'm just realizing how hurt I am by that deception over all those years. And I guess I'm wondering, how best do you think it would be to go about confronting my mom about this lying and deception?
Wow. Well, Sam, thank you for sharing that story with us. That was about your mother telling a story. So, a lot of stories going on. I think what you have to understand is the reason why your mother lied to you, Sam, is because of how much she loved you. All right? Let me get into this. When Brian was a boy, I remember a lot of the times he would say, Dad, I want to go out for pizza and hot dogs. And I would say, Oh, Brian, unfortunately, those stores are closed today. When in fact, they were very much open, right? So I was being dishonest. A lot of parents do this. Why? Sometimes because they're tired, they don't want to stop. They've been watching the kids all day. Sometimes it's like we got healthier food at home and like, I don't want to feed you this stuff. For me, it was because I was always scared of Brian getting fat. I did not want it to happen for him. And not only for health reasons, you know, but I didn't want Brian to become heavy because when you're overweight, the doctors are less nice to you and no one wants to be your friend. But I wasn't going to say that to my son, right? I wasn't going to say, hey, I'm tired or this or that, or like, if you become overweight, maybe, whoever you're with or your wife or whatever, she'll leave you for your best friend who always had a very easy time staying slim. So that's why your mother lied to you, Sam, because she loves you so much. And listen, if you want to, I think you should confront her. You should confront her with love. You should say, "Hey, mom, my heart is open for business, and it's not just for businessmen. It's just for you, and then obviously other people in your family, and your friends and stuff like that. But also very much for your mother." So,
Okay.
and now for my favorite segment, oh, how the tables have turned, where I ask my guest a question and they give me some advice. Before, I was thinking that, I would call this segment, Oh, How the Tables Have Turned Once More, because after the first episode, it was a whole thing. Ultimately, I thought it was a bit much. So moving forward, we'll just do, Oh, How the Tables Have Turned. Sam, are you ready for my question?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Let's say someone is over at your house checking the sprinklers, like a sprinkler guy or a woman, they could also do sprinklers, a professional. And your significant other, maybe it's your husband or wife or something, I'm not sure, is talking to the sprinkler guy a lot and twirling their hair and stuff like that. Now, all there really is to know about a sprinkler is whether or not it's working. So I'm not really sure why they would feel the need to talk to the sprinkler guy for like 20 minutes, you know? How do you deal with something like that?
I think honest communication is important, right, Spenny? So maybe something's going on, maybe not, but all you can do is really be honest about how you're feeling and how someone's actions are maybe making you feel.
The reason why I ask is because one time Angeline, she was talking to the sprinkler guy for like 20 minutes. And,
Uh-huh.
he had very strong arms. And I started telling myself a story in my head, which was, all right, Angeline is in love with the sprinkler guy. And now he's gonna kiss my wife and stuff like that. Maybe right there, you know,
Hmm.
it turned out she was not in love with the sprinkler guy. She was in love with Giuliano, who she left me for. But I was very angry and sad, and maybe I should have confronted her and been more honest about my feelings instead of holding it inside because ultimately that did not turn out for the best. So that's good advice, Sam. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
that's nice going.
I'm really sorry, Spenny.
Well, I am too. So I think we learned a lot today, but I just wanted to leave you with this. What is each person if not a collection of stories? There are the stories that happen to us, the moments in our lives, but then there are also the stories that we tell ourselves. And these could be dangerous sometimes. I have a friend, let's just call him Benny. Now, Benny is by all accounts a nice guy. He's got some stuff going for him. He's nice to people and stuff like that. But despite this, Benny a lot of times has a hard time believing in himself and believing that the people that mean the most to him, he means the most to. Now, throughout his life, there have been times where, because of this fear of being left and not loved, he has pushed people away, lashed out at people, the people that are supposed to be the closest to him. And then guess what, buddy? When you do that, the people that you're afraid, oh, they don't want to be my friends or whatever, guess what? Now they don't want to be your friends because of what you did, because you lashed out. So guess what? All that stuff that you were scared of, it just came true. Right? This is in therapy what you would call a breakthrough moment. We never really had one in couples therapy, but I've heard it said like in the context of therapy. So, anyway, my point is there are good stories like Little Red Riding Hood and Harry Potter, the ones that help us go to bed. And then there are the bad stories. These are the stories that we sometimes tell ourselves, and these do not help us go to bed. These help us get divorced, alienate our friends, push people away, and they help us honestly wind up alone, which hello isn't much of a help at all. Just a little LOL because I know we're talking about serious stuff. But my point is, you got to be really, really careful about the stories that you tell yourself every day, because if you're not careful, those stories just might come true. Anyway, that was our show. I want to thank you so much for joining us, and I do hope that you will join us again next time when the topic of conversation will be money. All right, that was all right. It was a little sad at the end, but I think mostly it was good.